You discover this mysterious world of the gym. You see dudes that are jacked, they lift hundreds of pounds, they have shredded six pack abs, and it's almost like they carry themselves a little bit differently. The way they walk, the way they stand, their posture, the way that they present themselves. They have like this kind of confidence to them that you've never seen in yourself. And when it comes to the beach or the pool, these guys like just can't wait to take their shirts off. They have like this confidence to reveal what's underneath. And although you've never seen yourself in those shoes, you wonder like what that would be like to actually be proud of what's underneath your shirt. So you decide, okay, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to get a gym membership. I'm going to start showing up. I'm going to build muscle. I'm going to get a six pack. Girls are going to be more attracted to me. I'm going to have more confidence in myself. This time, I'm actually going to make it happen. So you do. You get a gym membership, maybe at Planet Fitness, Orange Theory, your local community center, maybe LA. One of those like cheaper gyms, but something that's super affordable yet still effective and definitely gets the job done. And you start showing up a few times a week. Of course, you're running push pull legs. What else would you be running? All the gym bros run push pull legs, so I'm gonna do push pull legs. Okay. And you don't really know what you're doing, but you kind of go through some of the machines and they feel pretty good. And maybe a homie helps you out and like shows you an exercise. You're like, well, you wake up the next day, you're pretty sore. So you did something right. And you know that you should be eating protein. So you get some protein shakes. Okay, because who wouldn't? That's what gym bros do. You go to Costco, you maybe pick up like Fairlife shakes. Or maybe you go to GNC and you get this awfully powdery, overly sweet, chunky kind of protein powder that you don't like drinking in the first place, but it's what the gym bros do. So you have to do it, right? I want to be like them, okay? So we're showing up to the gym and we're drinking protein shakes, and you kind of get on a streak. You kind of just make this happen over and over again, and you're feeling pretty good. Like, okay, I must be on the right track. But after some time, this whole thing that you started for yourself kind of just dissipates, right? One day your not your gym buddy, your friend texts you like, hey, we should go out, we should hang out, whatever. And you have to make a choice. You either go and follow through with your workout, or you hang out with your friend. And you would way rather hang out with your friend, right? You don't really have friends at the gym, you just kind of go because you have to. So you make the decision, you want to hang out with your friend. And that's amazing. So you go hang out, you have a great time. The next day, you're like, really, really busy. You just don't have time to make a healthy breakfast. So cereal is the go, but you're gonna have a protein shake later. Okay, so it's okay. But then something else comes up and you just kind of forget to make a shake, and you tell yourself, okay, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'll definitely get it done tomorrow. But then you're busy again, and things just kind of don't line up. A few days go by, and you realize that you've completely fallen off again. That your path is no longer. But you still tell yourself, maybe I'm just not in the right season of life. I wasn't meant to start right now. Right now is just not a good time for me to start working out. I have too much going on. And the cycle repeats. It repeats, it repeats, it repeats. And yet you keep finding yourself in the shoes of being out of shape and not being too confident in the body that you have, in the physique that you have. Okay, Simon, you just broke down my whole life story. Stop yelling at me. Tell me what to do about it. I got you. I got you. In this video, I will be walking through some frameworks, some criteria, some ideas that I want you guys to understand in order to break out of this vicious cycle of just showing up, starting, failing, and doing it again, and never making progress, because consistency is one of the biggest parts of the gym. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Number one, they are not blessed, but quite the opposite. Those guys that you see that have been going to the gym for years, you know this guy has a six pack. Like, he's had a six pack, it seems like since birth. Just like you've always known him and he just has a six pack for no reason. You don't know how he does it. They breathe, eat, consume only protein. Like, that's all they really care about. And whether you want to end up like them or not, they're doing something right. They've been consistent and they get it done. And you might think they're blessed, right? They were raised the right way. They were born with this level of discipline that just put them on the right path, and they're blessed. But the reality is, it is quite the opposite. Those people that you see start the gym and they just take off like a missile and just it's only up from there. They're never stopping. Those people, they go through some serious stuff, right? Those people that start and never quit, their initial motivation factor was huge, right? It was either a breakup, it was an insecurity, it was a childhood trauma situation. Something deeply impacted them on a deeper level. Their motivation factor is so incredibly huge that there's just no question of stopping. That they saw progress, and they were like, this is what we're doing now. Like, yeah, now I'm just a gym bro. This is my new personality. So it's not that they were born with the discipline, were born with the motivation. Their just initial starting motivational factor was so incredibly massive that they just took off. You guys want to hear mine? I think you guys do. My starting motivational factor was a girl I was dating at the time. And I was doing sit-ups in my room, and I was doing pull-ups, and I wanted to get an aesthetic physique, right? So I was working towards that. And she was over at my house, and she tells me, oh, I have this pull-up bar in my room. And she's a gymnast, so she does like 1 or 2 pull-ups. And I was like, dang, that's impressive. And then I get on the bar and I rip out like 10 or 12 pull-ups, and easy. I was like 130 pounds, 140 pounds of pull-ups were just flying. And she looks at me and she goes, I didn't think you could do a pull-up. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, indirectly said that I was really, really skinny. She didn't actually say that, but in other words. And that really hurt me because I had a bit of a confidence in myself. I thought I was a pretty athletic dude, and I just get told that, the girl that I'm dating, the girl I'm obsessed with, says, I didn't think you could even do one. It was game over from there. From there, broke up, and it was a heartbreak. It wasn't just that moment, but it was a heartbreak that was my motivational factors for the first, 3-4 months of the gym. But anyway, they are not blessed, but quite the opposite. Number 2. Personality change. That person that was once really fat, or was once really skinny, or was once also unhappy with their physique, and then they had that initial moment, that kind of pivotal moment that gave them so much motivation that they just hammered away at the gym, and now it's just been a part of them ever since. That person, they don't still think about that trauma. They don't still wake up and go, oh, dude, but my ex-girlfriend, my ex-wife from 8 years ago, I have to go. No, it's not actually their motivating factor to this day. But the reason they're still able to show up so easily without a second thought is that that motivational stage that lasted a few months to 6 months to maybe even a few years, they underwent a personality change during that stage. So the habits that they might have had when they were fat, imagine a fat person, maybe they were playing video games, they were eating a bunch of chips, eating a bunch of garbage, they had just horrible habits under their belt, just didn't do much with their life. After that year of just consistently showing up to the gym, of course the other factors are going to change. He's not just going to go to the gym, have an amazing workout, come back and play video games and eat chips. No, he's going to get some protein, and there's so many factors that are just going to envelop you. So living through that for X amount of time, that person changed. He no longer wanted to play video games. That was no longer him. He was now a gym person. He now enjoyed fitness. He enjoyed health. So they undergo a personality change. Now, imagine a graph. Okay, we're going to be comparing the intensity of motivation to the intensity change of habits. So on the x-axis, I'm going to put a graphic right here. On the x-axis, we have motivation to change. How motivated are you? Are you just dying to make a change? Or you're just grinding in the gym every single day? You just would rather do nothing else but work out, right? You'd be all the way on this side of the graph. Or are you just okay, I kind of want to look good. I kind of want to go to the gym to look better. Okay, that's not a lot of motivation. Then on our y-axis, we have intensity of habit change. It's linear, okay? So the more motivated you are, the more intense your habit changes can be. So a person that's crazy motivated can throw away their old lifestyle, forget about the friends they surrounded themselves with, forget about drinking, forget about partying, and just zone in and change their whole life in a week's time, and just envelop this new persona and just rock on forward and make insane progress and never quit. That can happen with enough motivation. But that's not you. You're not you're not doing all that. You're just here because you just want to know how to get in shape. You just want to know what you're doing wrong, right? So you're going to be on this lower spectrum, meaning you don't have too intense of motivation to do this stuff. Meaning you can't be changing your habits too much at a time. My point here is you have to start so much smaller than you think. If your motivation, which you think you might be motivated, you're not that motivated. If your motivation isn't very high. So what I tell people is 2 or 3 changes every 2 or 3 months. Big, but not too big. Okay, so say I'm going to start going to the gym 3 times a week, bare minimum. 3 times a week I'm going to show up. That's change number 1. Change number 2, I'm going to wake up before 8 a.m. every single day. Like, no matter what happens, I'm just going to be up before 8. Okay, that's 2 changes. That's like you're maxing yourself out at that point almost. And then if you want to do a third, I'm going to start tracking my protein. So I'm going to track what I have for breakfast, just protein. I'm not going to really care about calories. I'm just going to track my protein. So 3 changes. You might think, well, that's not going to get me an insane physique. And no, you're right. It's not going to give you an insane physique. But down the line, like a year or 2 years down the line, yes, yes, it will. And would you rather have your dream physique a year from now, 2 years from now, and just be in tip-top shape, or be in the same shoes that you're in right now, going through the endless cycle? Right. So my point is, start small. I'm going to give you guys an example of this. Before losing 45 pounds, before like getting absolutely locked in, when I started that journey, I didn't change much. Okay? I was pretty used to going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. So I bumped it up to 6. Like, I'm going to step foot in the gym 6 times a week. And understand that that's a tiny change for me. That's a massive change for somebody who has never gone to the gym, to just go from 0 to 6. So it was a small change for me. I changed that. And I didn't even track my calories. I didn't even care about my nutrition too much, my protein too much. All I did was I said, I'm just going to only eat quote unquote healthy foods. Meaning, just like by my own like mental gauge, like those greasy mashed potatoes, I'm not going to consider that healthy. But that steak and rice stir fry that they served at college, I can have that. Okay, I'm going to have some fruit. And there's no cap to this. Like, eat as much as you want. It just has to be healthy. That's all I did. And I lost 10 pounds in the first month and a half from just doing that. You don't realize how much the tiniest changes add up, because I was drinking alcohol, because I was smoking weed and eating a bunch of chips, because I was eating a bunch of garbage. I was having cereal for breakfast. I was having all these things which I didn't think were that high calorie. Just that tiny change, 10 pounds in a month and a half. Small things add up. Once you pick your 2 or 3 changes that you're going to be making within the next few months, you need to hold yourself accountable to it by all means. Even though they're small, they don't seem very significant. They don't seem like they're going to just flip your world on its head, right? You still have to do it every single day, because this is going to be our baseline. Those few habits is going to be your baseline. So the way that I held myself accountable to envelop myself in these habits is I would journal every single day about those 2 or 3 things. You have to live this stuff. So I'd write down, okay, so for breakfast, I had 20 or 30 grams of protein. I didn't really like the meat that I had. I really have to figure out how to switch that out, because that did not taste very good. For lunch, I was stuck at 20 grams and I really wanted to have 40. I just didn't have a protein source to work with. So I really have to figure out, like, what can I add in there to bump that up? And you just like walk yourself through it every single day and make sure you're actually going through the motions, going through each and every action on a daily basis. It's not going to seem significant. It's not going to change your life overnight. But in a year, oh, absolutely it will. Absolutely it will. Set alarms, set reminders, take pictures. You're not going to remember shit, okay? The amount of friends that I've started on supplements, oh yeah, no, I'm going to start taking creatine. Dude, that's awesome, bro. It's awesome. I ask him a week later, yeah, I keep forgetting. Oh, crazy world, crazy how that works. When you don't have a habit built, you're not going to do it. I wake up and take my supplements every single morning on automatic. It's part of my routine. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I then go take my supplements. without question every single day. It's like I'm on automatic. That takes time to build up. Set reminders, set alarms for those 2 or 3 habits that you choose. Over time, every 2 or 3 months, you're going to add a few habits. They're going to layer. And I kid you not, a year down the line, you will genuinely be like this completely new, transformed human being that you didn't even think was possible. But that's just a little hard for people to picture, like a year. It's really not that long. Think back to yourself a year ago, probably still in the same shape that you're in right now. Maybe even healthier. Maybe you've gone down the line. Yeah. Think about that. A year from now, you could be brand new just by this 2 or 3 baseline habit technique. These habits that we're implementing, 2 or 3 are initial, are going to be baseline. Now, common advice. Get rid of junk food. Get rid of whatever's holding you back. Get rid of the chips in your pantry. Get rid of the sodas in your fridge. And yeah, sure, the environment does dictate your actions to a large extent. I definitely think you should get rid of the habits that are those temptations that are around you. But it doesn't always work, because then you go to work and they put donuts in front of your face and everyone's having a donut party and you're like, I'm not going to not have a donut. So you have a donut because you don't know how to say no. And then your friend asks you to hang out and you'd rather hang out than go hit a leg day. It's a Friday night. So of course you're going to go hang out. You're not going to be a loser and go hit legs. It doesn't always work. Your environment dictates your actions, but you can't change your whole environment. And that's okay. It just takes a lot of time, because as you transform, as you layer these habits, you're going to get to a point where like the people you surround yourself with changes. What you do on a daily basis changes. The people that you talk to, the friends that you have, what you spend time doing, your hobbies, your passions, they're going to change in a good way. But that's not going to happen right away. So those temptations are going to stick around. Now, what do we do? What do we do? Do we eat the donuts and just say, oops? To a certain extent, you don't have to say no to every opportunity that comes your way, because that's just going to kind of ruin that sustainability factor of this whole thing. But you have that baseline of those 2 or 3 habits you built, 2 or 3. And then maybe you layered another 2. So maybe you're at 4 or 5 or 6. When you go off, when you go have a donut, when you skip the gym, it's not the end of the world. But go back to baseline every single time. So you had a donut, you skipped the gym, you went out drinking, you're cooked. Next morning you wake up, you journal. It's going to sound ridiculous, but you still do it. How much protein did I have? How many calories did I consume? Did I work out 3 times this week? When am I going to work out? How am I going to hit my protein goal? You journal these things out and you still proceed with the baseline that you built for yourself. And that is what holds you accountable. You don't chuck the rest of your life out the window and say no and expect to succeed. You just need a baseline to refer to. Like I said, set your environment up for success, but it takes time, and you can tweak things around, right? You can get rid of your soda. You can get rid of your chips. You can get rid of the cookies or the bowl of candy that you have sitting on your center island. You can get rid of that. But that's only going to carry you so long, because you still have all these other factors in your life that are going to be tempting you. Not 24/7, but often, right? Probably on a daily basis. And the long-term change, you can't just like block this, friend. You know what? You like cookies? Block. You like going out to fast food? Block. Like, no, you can't really do that. So the long term is going to take time. But as you align your goals with your baseline habits and you keep on layering them, okay, I woke up before 8 a.m. Okay, I tracked my protein. Okay, I went to the gym. Check. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, a few months down the line, okay, I need a few more habits. I've been really good with those. I need a few more. I'm going to track my calories now because I want to be in a deficit. I want to start really nudging down on the scale. So I'm going to track my calories and make sure I'm in a 500 calorie deficit every single day. Check. Okay, now I'm not going to eat like sugary sweets. Like, even though I'm in a deficit, like I'm just gonna cut out like candy. Like I just can't have candy. Like you layer, you layer, you layer, you layer, and it works, man. This stuff works. By the time you get there, you're gonna be a new person. You're gonna like new things. You're gonna love the journey of going to the gym, of having a healthy breakfast, of having a morning routine, of having these productive habits in your life, and having productive routines that are going to carry you in the long run. And you are going to become the Chad that can take his shirt off and be proud of the way he looks and have a six pack. And you're going to have that confidence that you've noticed in other people that you've never been able to find in yourself. It's all possible. We're just forced to nudge our way there. Complete a certain set of habits, nudge our way there. Complete that set, nudge our way there. The people with insane motivation that started going to the gym and never stopped either did this, or that initial motivational factor was so incredibly huge that they were able to flip their life 180 degrees within the span of a few weeks and never look back. That's not possible. That's not sustainable for the majority of people. I hope you guys took some immense value out from this video. If I could tell my younger self this when I was not succeeding with any of my habits or goals or the routines that I set myself in place, this would be a game changer. Baseline habits. Implement this. Do not walk away from this video and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then actually never do anything about it. If you follow this framework, I can guarantee you will build habits for the long run, for you to succeed, for you to have a six-pack, for you to develop your dream body. Let's freaking get this work, guys. I will catch you guys here in the next one. Coaching link in bio if you want to see if you're a good fit for the program. Peace.